Question number 10. State 3 uses of vernier calipers. Answer is 3 uses of vernier calipers are 1. Measuring the internal diameter of a tube or a cylinder. 2nd, measuring the length of an object. And 3rd, measuring the length of a beaker or a bottle. Question number 11. Name the 2 scales of vernier calipers and explain how it is used to measure length correct up to 0.01 centimeter. Answer. 2 scales of vernier calipers are main scale and vernier scale. The main scale is graduated to read up to 1 mm, and on vernier scale the length of 10 divisions is equal to length of 9 divisions of the main scale. Value of 1 division on the main scale is equal to 1 mm. Total number of divisions on the vernier scale is equal to 10. Thus, least count is equal to 1 mm by 10 is equal to 0.01 mm is equal to 0.01 centimeter. Hence, a vernier calipers can measure lengths correct up to 0.01 centimeter. Question number 12. Describe in steps how would you use a vernier caliper to measure the length of a small rod. So, measuring the length of a small rod using vernier caliper, you have to just give a rough sketch, then in the position, and you have to use the formula. Actually, for this lesson the numericals are not coming, so we will just skip this question. Then question number 13. Name the part of the vernier calipers which is used to measure the following. External diameter of a tube. Answer is outside jaws. Internal diameter of a mug. Inside jaws. Depth of small bottle strip. And thickness of pencil outer jaws. Question number 14. Explain the terms pitch, least count of the screw gauge. How are they determined? Pitch. The pitch of a screw gauge is the distance moved by the screw along its axis in one complete rotation. Second, least count of a screw gauge is the distance moved by it in rotating the circular scale by one division. So, LC is equal to pitch of the screw gauge by total number of divisions on its circular scale. So, if the screw moves by 1 millimeter in one rotation and it has 100 divisions on its circular scale, then pitch of a screw is equal to 1 mm. Thus, least count is equal to 1 mm by 100 is equal to 0.01 mm is equal to 0.001 centimeter. Question number 16. Draw a neat and label diagram. Again we will not draw it, just we will write the main parts and their functions of the screw gauge. The first part is ratchet. It advances the screw by turning it until the object is gently placed between the stud and spindle of a screw. 2. Sleeve. It marks the main scale and baseline. Thimble. It marks the circular scale. 4. Main scale. It helps to read the length correct up to 1 millimeter. 5th, circular scale. It helps to read length correct up to 0.01 mm. State question number 17. State 1 use of screw gauge. A screw gauge is used for measuring diameter of circular objects, mostly wires, with an accuracy of 0.001 centimeter. Question number 18. State the purpose of ratchet in a screw gauge. Ratchet helps to advance the screw by turning it until the object is gently placed between the stud and spindle of screw. What do you mean by zero error of a screw gauge? How it is accounted for? Due to mechanical errors, sometimes when the anvil and spindle end are brought in contact, the zero mark of the circular scale does not coincide with the baseline of the main scale. It is either above or below the baseline of the main scale. The screw gauge is said to have a zero error. It can be both positive and negative. It is accounted by subtracting the zero error from the observed reading in order to get the correct reading. That is, correct reading is equal to observed reading minus zero error with sign. Question number 20. A screw gauge has least count 0.001 centimeter and zero error is equal to plus 0.007 centimeter. So draw a neat diagram to represent it. So you have to just draw the positive zero error and such that the the centimeter range or division is coinciding with the zero. Question number 23 now directly. Name the instrument which can accurately measure the following: the diameter of a needle screw gauge, thickness of a paper screw gauge, the internal diameter of the neck of a water bottle vernier caliper screw, and then the diameter of a pencil screw gauge. Question number 21 and 22 we will not be doing. Then question number 23, 24 and 25, it is already given in the exercise. Exercise 1C. What is a simple pendulum? Is the pendulum used in a pendulum clock as a simple pendulum? Give reason to your answer. A simple pendulum is a heavy point mass known as bob suspended from a rigid support by a massless and inextensible string. No, the pendulum used in pendulum clock is not a simple pendulum, because the simple pendulum is an ideal case. We cannot have a heavy mass having a size of a point and string having no mass. Then the second question is, define the terms oscillation, amplitude, frequency and the time period. So first one, oscillation. One complete to and fro motion of pendulum is called one oscillation. Amplitude, the maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position on either side is called the amplitude of oscillation. It is measured in meters. Frequency, it is the number of oscillations made in 1 second. Its unit is hertz. Time period, this is the time taken to complete one oscillation. It is measured in seconds. Third question is, draw the neat diagram of simple pendulum. Show the effective length and one oscillation of the pendulum. You have to draw the figure of the pendulum. That is page number 21, figure 1.16. Then next question, question number 5. Name two factors on which the time period of simple pendulum does not depend. First one is material of the bob and the second one is amplitude. Question number 6. How is the time period of simple pendulum affected, if at all, in the following situations? First, the length of a quadrupled, that is T is equal to 2 pi under root of L by G. If length quadruples, then T dash is equal to 2 pi under root of 4 L by G. So dividing T by T dash, we will get as 1 by 2, or T is equal to 2T1. If the acceleration due to gravity is reduced to 1/4, then it will be T dash will become 2 pi under root by L by 1 by 4th of G. So T by T dash is equal to, again it will come equal to 1 by 2, or T is equal to 2 T dash. Therefore the time period is doubled. Question number 7. How is the time period T and frequency f of a simple pendulum related to each other? The time period of simple pendulum is inversely proportional to its frequency. F is equal to 1 by T.